pose done poorly a lot, and it can actually put pressure on your lower back if it's not done well. And I've known people that have gotten hurt doing this. And it's a great pose if done well, so I want to make sure that everyone is doing it with the best form they can have. And also that leads us into upward dog, which can have the same issue. Okay, so I'm just gonna take off my socks, get into a yoga zone for a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna come down onto my belly. So I'm just gonna lower myself down. So when you're coming into cobra pose, you're starting from all the way down here. Okay, so you may not have a lot of flexibility in your back, and you may only be able to go a tiny bit of the way up. One mistake I see is that people try to force themselves out, like, oh, this is the pose, I'm just gonna force it up. So now look what's happening when I do that. I'm pulling my neck back, my shoulders are up towards my ears, and I'm trying to get this movement in my back really from my neck and shoulders because my back doesn't want to go any further. So it doesn't matter how far up you go. You want to make sure your neck is nice and lengthened, your hands are on the mat, but your shoulders are not creeping up to your ears. So take those shoulders down and then slowly come up. So let's say this is as far as you go. Okay, so then here you are. It is much better for your back and working on your strength to just stay here. You don't need to push it any further. Just stay right here and hang out. This is a great set of muscles working your back. You don't have to go any further to get them to work more. This is perfect. And then when you get a little stronger and more flexible, then maybe you come up a little bit higher. Okay, so let's take a break here. Let's talk about if you go up a little bit higher. Okay, so if you're going up higher, now your elbows are off the ground. Same thing, you don't want to push it more than your body can go because then you get your shoulders and your neck involved. You want to keep your neck long, shoulders down so you feel your triceps working. You feel that lower back working, but also getting a nice stretch through the belly and the chest. Maybe you can look up a little bit without doing that. Okay, let's come back down and rest. Okay, so now let's talk about upward dog. So with upward dog, I'm going to come up for a moment. It's always nice to do a little child's pose stretch between things that you're doing to open up your chest and open up in your back. So when we come into upward dog, what I see a lot of is people trying to get as far as they can and really pushing their bellies forward and their chest just pushing out. And maybe their heads are going way back. So I don't want to do that too many times because it doesn't feel good. So when you're in upward dog, you want your core to be engaged. It's not going to be engaged like if you're doing an ab exercise, but you don't want it just flopping out because then that compromises your back. So that's one thing. When you're coming into upward dog, I'm going to come into it just curling my toes just for a little bit more stability. Your chest is open, but you want your core slightly engaged as opposed to just letting it fall. Your chest is open. You can look forward, you can look up a little bit as long as you're not doing that. You also don't want your shoulders to be sinking. You want to really engage your arms. So your chest is open, core engaged, look straight ahead, and maybe you have more. Maybe you can go a little bit further. But the most important thing is not how far you go, because that pose is not just about getting the biggest back stretch you can. It's about stability while you're opening up the chest. So let's come back into our cobra. Okay, so let's put your hands here. So we're coming up, maybe you're here, maybe you go a little bit further, drop those shoulders, let your neck stay lengthened, and even here as you go up higher, you can start to engage your abs as opposed to just letting everything fall down. Okay, let's rest for a moment. Come into a child's pose. Okay, then let's come into our upward dog. Okay, so shoulders are open, chest is open. You're looking forward, maybe up a little bit if you can open up your back to go with it. What you don't want is to just try to look up and use your head to try to get that opening. That's something I've seen as well. Keep the core engaged, engage your legs, and work on it that way. So you want your legs engaged, you want your core engaged, you're engaging your arms, your triceps should be working, your chest is open, you want your head to be in line with the rest of your spine. Sometimes you can't figure out where that is. You can take a video of yourself to kind of check it out. You want your head to be in line. So if your chest can only open this much, your head will be here. If you can only open your chest this much, but you try to get it more with your head, then it's only your head and your neck that you're kind of yanking out of its alignment. So take yourself, see what you can do. Make sure that everything is in alignment when you go up, when you go back, and not just one thing going out and the other kind of falling behind. So it's a little bit of an art form. Just observe yourself, take your video and go, okay, here's my spine, here's my chest, here's my neck. Oh, my head's going too far that way. So try it again, and then keep your head in a better alignment. It can be kind of fun to play around with. So just remember, in your cobra, in your up dog, don't let your core just hang out. Keep your spine in a nice alignment so it's all going together, and think of it as an exercise of strength as much as getting that opening and that stretch. It will definitely feel better for your body. It's much safer, much healthier to keep it contained and engaged and not just let it all just fly out because you're trying to get a great stretch and that's what you think you're supposed to do. Keep those muscles engaged.